Today we're going to be talking about barriers that we face on a daily basis. Not the physical barriers that you're thinking about, but the attitude barriers that we receive from other people. And we're also going to be discussing disability and the law. So sit back, strap in, and let's get started here. Please be aware that the comments, views, opinions shared on this podcast are not meant to diagnose a medical problem and/or legal problem. If you do have a medical problem or legal problem, kindly contact a professional.
Welcome to An Apple a Day, a podcast, a resource, a community. Share your experiences and learn from others as we overcome barriers and learn to live a happy, healthy life with a disability. Welcome to the community. Here's your host, Jimmy Apple.
Welcome to another episode of An Apple a Day. I'm your host, Jimmy Apple. An Apple a Day is brought to you by www.famousapple.com. Famousapple.com is the home site for this podcast, so if you get a minute, go over there, check it out. Hey, if you want to reach me by email, you can do so by writing me at jimmy@famousapple.com. That's JIMMY@famousapple.com. How you feeling today, my friends? You feeling good? You feeling strong? You feeling better than you did yesterday? Are you ready for the holidays? Have you kept all your doctor's appointments? That's very important. Have you kept your doctor's appointments? Have you kept your therapy appointments? Very important. Very important. Santa's not going to visit you if you didn't. Have you got your medication for next week? You know the pharmacies are going to be closed on Christmas Day, and they're probably going to close early Christmas Eve. So make sure you have your medications. Make sure, especially if you're traveling, make sure you have your medications with you and you have them all set and ready. I love this time of year, especially now that it's close to Christmas. I love the Christmas music. I love seeing Christmas lights and the Christmas tree. I don't like when they start playing Christmas music the day before Halloween. I don't like seeing Christmas decorations a week before Halloween, but I love it this time of year. I mean, Christmas is next week, and the Christmas music is playing, the trees are decorated, houses are decorated. It's beautiful outside. I love it. I love it. You can't help but get into the holiday spirit. People seem nicer for some reason this time of year. It's just a nice time of year. But being disabled, it can be a hard time of year too. And you got to look out for each other. If you know someone that's disabled or you're feeling bad yourself, you're feeling blue, let somebody know. Don't be afraid to let somebody know that you're feeling down. Don't think that it's weak or a sign of weakness if you let them know that. But try and pick yourself up. Watch some movies on TV. Christmas is not about the money. Christmas is not about buying. It's not. It's not. And as you get older, you realize that. I know it took a while for me, but as I got older, I realized that. And it's nice. I love to see kids at Christmas time. I love to see the excitement in their eyes. So enjoy the season. Enjoy the excitement of it. Enjoy the lights. Enjoy the music. Enjoy the feeling around you, the feeling of love and friendship. If you let it in, it's great. If you try, just open yourself up to it. It's really, really great. It's a warm feeling. And look to be around people who feel the same way. You know, you don't want to be around people who are negative. Oh my God, that's the worst thing. I remember years ago when I first got hurt and I was in physical therapy, there was a guy that was in there with me, and came the holidays, this guy was a miserable son of a bitch. Wherever he went, there was a black cloud over him. I swear to God, you would think that he was dead and buried. He saw no joy in anything. If somebody was singing Christmas carols or they had Christmas music on the radio, he'd be grumbling to shut that shit off. He hated it. He didn't see any joy in the holidays. If he was miserable, he wanted to make everyone else miserable. You know what? That's the type of guy you got to stay away from. For me, I seen it happening to me that I'm around this guy and I started picking up his miserable traits. So much so that I'd go home. My wife would say, "What is wrong with you? Why are you like this?" And I guess it was just rubbing off on me. But he had something to complain about with everything. The people brought in Christmas cookies, and he didn't like the Christmas cookies. He couldn't eat the Christmas cookies because he's a diabetic, and, they should have thought about him. And he was very self-centered, just a very self-centered, nasty person. And there was I don't know whatever happened to him. I'm glad I lost track of him, to be honest with you. He was just miserable. Miserable isn't even the word for him. You don't want to be around people like that. You want to surround yourself with people that are positive, that people that can find the silver lining in a gray cloud. Life is hard. We all know that. We're disabled. Life got a little bit harder. But you know what? We survived. We survived. Whatever happened to us, we survived, and we're still strong enough to keep going. So put all that negative crap behind us. This is the holidays. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. And look forward. Look forward. That's all you have to do is look forward. Watch a couple of movies on TV. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Frosty the Snowman. I love those things. Listen to Christmas music. Burl Ives. Love Burl Ives. But just leave the negative out of it and you'll enjoy yourself. Put all the worries to the side. Don't worry about anything for a couple of days. Just take all the worries that you have and put them out of your mind. You deserve a break. And this is it. All right, let's move on here. People with disabilities face many barriers every day, from physical obstacles in buildings to systemic barriers in employment and civic programs. Yet, often the most difficult barriers to overcome are attitudes other people carry regarding people with disabilities. Whether born from ignorance, fear, misunderstanding, or hate, these attitudes keep people from appreciating and experiencing the full potential a person with a disability can achieve. The most pervasive negative attitude is focusing on a person's disability rather than on the individual's abilities. A lawyer is effective if he or she has a solid grasp of the law and can present a complete case before a jury or a judge. That the lawyer accesses law books through a Kurzweil reader because he or she is blind is immaterial to the job skill. A rancher is effective if he or she feeds the cattle and mends fences. That the rancher with paraplegia operates a cattle feeder system in the bed of a truck via a rod from the cab or rides an all-terrain vehicle to reach fences is immaterial to the job skill. A stocker in a factory is effective if he or she packages the proper number of items in each bin. That the stocker, because of a developmental disability that limits attention span, uses a counting device is not only immaterial to the job skill, but can make and has made that person the most accurate stocker on the factory floor. A more insidious attitude is that society doesn't expect people with disabilities to perform up to standard, and when people with disabilities do, they are somehow courageous. This attitude has the effect of patronizing people with disabilities, usually relegating them in low-skilled jobs, setting a different job standards, sometimes lower standards which tend to alienate co-workers, sometimes higher standards to prove that they cannot handle a job, or expecting a worker with a disability to appreciate the opportunity to work instead of demanding equal pay, equal benefits, equal opportunity, and equal access to workplace amenities. Types of attitude barriers. People with disabilities encounter many different forms of attitude barriers. 1. Inferiority. Because a person may be impaired in one of life's major functions, some people believe that that individual is a second-class citizen. However, most people with disabilities have skills that make the impairment moot in the workplace. Pity. People feel sorry for the person with a disability, which tends to lead to patronizing attitudes. People with disabilities generally don't want pity and charity, just equal opportunity to earn their own way and live independently. Hero worship. People consider someone with a disability who lives independently or pursues a profession to be brave or special for overcoming the disability. But most people with disabilities do not want accolades for performing day-to-day tasks. The disability is there. The individual has simply learned to adapt by using his or her skills and knowledge, just as everybody adapts to being tall, short, strong, fast, easygoing, bald, blonde, etc. Ignorance. People with disability are often dismissed as incapable of accomplishing a task without the opportunity to display their skills. In fact, people with quadriplegia can drive cars, and have children. People who are blind can tell time on a watch and visit museums. People who are deaf can play baseball and enjoy music. People with developmental disabilities can be creative and maintain strong work ethics. The spread effect. People assume that an individual's disability negatively affects other senses, abilities, and personality traits, or the total person is impaired. For example, many people shout at people who are blind or don't expect people in wheelchairs to have the intelligence to speak for themselves. Focusing on a person's abilities rather than his or her disability counters this type of prejudice. Stereotypes. The other side of the spread effect is the positive and negative generalizations people form about disabilities. For example, many believe that all people who are blind are great musicians or have a keener sense of smell and hearing, that all people who use wheelchairs are docile or compete in the Paralympics, that all people with developmental disabilities are innocent and sweet-natured, that all people with disabilities are sad and bitter. Aside from diminishing the individual and his or her abilities, such prejudice can set too high or too low a standard for individuals who are merely human. Backlash. Many people believe that individuals with disabilities are given unfair advantages, such as easier work requirements, parking passes, etc. Employers need to hold people with disabilities to the same job standards as coworkers, though the means of accomplishing the tasks may differ from person to person. The Americans with Disability Act, or the ADA, does not require special privileges for people with disabilities, just equal opportunities. Denial. Many disabilities are hidden, such as learning disabilities, psychiatric disabilities, epilepsy, cancer, arthritis, and heart conditions. People tend to believe that these are not bona fide disabilities needing accommodations. The ADA defines disability as an impairment that substantially limits one or more of life's major activities. Accommodating hidden disabilities which meet the above definition can keep valued employees on the job and open doors for new employees. Fear. Many people are afraid that they will do or say something wrong around someone with a disability. They therefore avert their own discomfort by avoiding the individual with the disability. As with meeting a person from a different culture, frequent encounters can ease the comfort levels. Breaking down the barriers. Unlike physical and systemic barriers, attitude barriers that often lead to illegal discrimination cannot be overcome simply through laws. The best remedy is familiarity, getting people with and without disabilities to mingle as co-workers, associates, and social acquaintances. In time, most of the attitudes will give way to comfort, respect, and friendship. This was an excerpt of an article in a magazine called Disability World, where they were talking about disabilities in the workplace. But I thought it was good to share with all of us because it not only pertains to the workplace, but it pertains to everyday life. I've been saying this for so long. We are not disabled people. We're just people with a disability. If you say you're a disabled person, that means that there's something wrong with the entire person. We're not. There's nothing wrong with us as a whole. We just have a disability. We're still a person. We're still a whole person. And we still have abilities. And people are afraid of us, I think. I think people see us and they see that we're dealing with our disabilities, but they're afraid of us. Maybe because that old saying, there but for the grace of God go I. Maybe they're afraid that they wouldn't be able to handle what we have to handle. The only way we can make a difference is to talk to these people. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Don't let them make you feel like you're any less of a person. Be yourself. That's what I'm trying to get at. Be yourself. Don't be a disabled person. You're just a person with a disability. Always remember that, my friends. Always remember that. Hey, look, I don't want to get too deep. This is the holiday season. We want to have a good time. Like I said earlier, take all your problems, all the worries that are in your head, and get rid of them. Get rid of them. Put them out of your head. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. Think about this like this for a second. Come Tuesday, banks are closing. Wednesday, the banks are closed. There's no mail delivery. If you have people calling you for bills, there's no They're all off for the Christmas holiday too. So for a couple of days, put all of that out of your mind. Relax. Enjoy the people around you. Let them enjoy you. Let them enjoy the real you. All those worries, they'll come back next Thursday. Okay? They're not going to go away, but you can put them away for a couple of days and enjoy the holiday. Enjoy the holiday. And remember this, my friends. No matter what, things can always be worse. Right now, somewhere, someone is wishing they were in your position. So remember that, friends. Things can always be worse. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you're celebrating. From my family to you and your family, enjoy the holidays. Embrace the spirit of the holidays. Embrace your family and your friends. And I'll talk to you next week. You've been listening to An Apple a Day, and my name is Jimmy Apple. Take care, my friends. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho!
Thanks for listening to An Apple a Day with Jimmy Apple, your gateway to a happy, healthy life. Join our community at www.famousapple.com. See you next time.